First of all, I just want to thank those people who gave me some solutions to the problem with deactivation links that I had last time. Instead of moving forward to showing some scripting, I think I'm going to show that solution in action because I've also added a few things to this particular code. So this is the code for leading whole class discussions right here. And if you remember before, what I had before, I basically had two options. It was going to bounce back and forth like it would in hockey. That would be, offense, defense, or possession of puck, things like that. Just between teacher talking and student talking. But as I was discussing this with other people, I realized that it's very rarely a clean break between when one person's talking and the next person is talking. You don't always have a little pause. So what you generally have is some overlapping discussion. So I put that in the middle here. So if I show you the links that I've made so far, this is what I have. I have the exclusive links between these three codes, and I still have the activation links going up to the big code. So I would only have to push one of these three. Now, if I had the student talks code on, say the student was talking first, I can push, I have some activation links down here, between teacher interrupts or student interrupts. If I have overlapping discussion, someone sort of interrupted, and that's how I'm using that term. So if the teacher interrupted the student, I would click the teacher interrupts, and it would put this text label into the overlapping discussion and turn that one on. And because these are exclusive links, discussion student talks would turn off. And then as soon as the overlapping stopped, which hopefully it's just a very short amount of time, they don't try to talk over each other, I would click the discussion teacher talks. It might bounce back and forth a lot, but I think this will show better how smoothly the discussion goes. And the reason why I even have these interrupts, like student interrupts and teacher interrupts, is because later with some scripting, if I just want to look at this overlapping part, I can see, whether is the teacher really trying to dominate, not only in their time, but also jumping in on what the student has to say, talking over them, things like that. That's something we probably don't want to do as a teacher. So that's why I have these as text labels so I can count them inside just this one code. I've also added two other text labels that could be pushed after the fact, and I have some exclusive links between the text labels down here and the code that I would want to associate them with. So one is that the student is off topic. I may come up with some more text labels as I go, but when the student's talking, sometimes the student is not answering the question at hand, or they might be a little off topic. So if the button is on student talks and they go off topic, I can click it and it'll put it inside of this code here. And then ideally the teacher would redirect and at some point, and it might be through an interruption, but if the teacher redirects, I would like it to get exclusively linked to the teacher talking code. I'll see how that works when I try some real examples. And the exclusive links allows this, because multiple codes are going to be running, it would only put this particular text label inside this code. I'll decide later if that's how I want it, but right now that's kind of what makes the most sense to me. So that was a lot of what I just showed, and I still haven't showed you the solution to the deactivation links yet, but I thought first let's just see this in action. So I just have another random video open that has a lot of coding over here. So if I go into code mode, I'm going to turn off my sound. I can click, let's say the teacher probably is going to start first, the discussion, like leading a question, and then the student talks. And then maybe the teacher interrupts that student. Let's see if I can get it to work. Teacher interrupts that student. And then the teacher starts talking on their own. So it's kind of has this idea. So you could see that one of these goes on at a time. And I'll probably keep restructuring it, but right now that's how I'm envisioning it. And so maybe it goes back to the student talking, and then the student goes off topic, and the student's still talking, and then the teacher interrupts the student and redirects and it's back to the teacher talking. I can see as I'm talking through this right now that what would happen if nobody was talking. If the teacher posed a question per se and there was a long pause. I probably need one more code up here that says like pause or wait time, something like that. But that's something to consider down the road. What I do want to show you is the solution that I was given, which was that I can't just, when I have these exclusive links here, I can't just I can't just use deactivation links because it kind of makes a circular problem because they're not straight links. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this button over here, And I'm going to go into the inspector and change the background color of it to be no color, so it can fall right on top of it. And I'm going to change the type of button it is to an action button, which is going to have a deactivation link in a second. And my question that I'd asked a few weeks ago was confirmed. It doesn't matter if it says toggle or make movie. So that's good to know. Okay, so I have this clear button here, and I'm going to line it up right on top of that other one, and you'll be able to see if it lines up just right. Oops, still not right. Let's see. It's pretty close right now. I can use the inspector to really clean it up later. So now this button that's on top is just kind of sitting on top of this button, and I can add those deactivation links to each one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. There it is. So now it shouldn't create a problem. This code is the one that this button needs to be the one on top, because that's the one I would click to end it. So now let's take a look. I'm going to hide the links to make it a little easier to see. There's my setup. If I go back to code mode, let's say start with the teacher, go to the student, maybe bounce back a few times. And now when I click this, it should, oops, you know what I didn't do? See, talking this through out loud. I'm going to go back to edit. I forgot to add a deactivation link to the button behind it. So let me show you my links. Right now it's only turning off these 3. I need a deactivation link to this big button. So I will do that as well. Drag my deactivation link. Now fit it right on top. And again, I can fiddle with this later so it's exact. I'll hide them. Let's try that again. It should work now. Code mode. Bounce back and forth. Maybe the teacher overlaps. I'm just hitting a bunch of things right now. And now to turn it off, if I click this, there we go. It turned them both off at this point. Perfect. So thank you for that solution. I know that was a lot of talking, and I hope I didn't confuse you, but I just wanted to show you how you can keep adding to what you have and developing it more. These extra text labels are going to be helpful information later if I want to pull out some information from scripts. And I decided that I probably need one other button, because when you're discussing, there might be pauses as well. So that's going to be my next thing to figure out. And then I'll also show you some scripting and how I can put some output information right into these buttons or below it.